and Ty Lue. I have more trust in the Los Angeles Clippers right now than I do the Los Angeles Lakers.
Bobby, I heard you yesterday. I know you're already on the Clippers bandwagon. Tell us why.
Listen, this is a team that was scrutinized during the summer for letting Paul George go. And we all thought they were going to finish in the lottery, but they are well balanced. They've got two closers in Harden and Kawhi. They've got a player in Ivica Zubac who's probably going to be up there for Defensive Player of the Year. They've got a top-level coach, Norm Powell. And as Perk said, Derrick Jones Jr., I think that's the Oklahoma City's kryptonite there as far as the ability to defend guards, as far as what we saw what Jones did last year with the Mavericks here. I'm all in on the Clippers. The unfortunate thing is that they're probably staring at that 4-5 game right now, or 4-5 seed right now, and you might get Oklahoma City in the second round.
That would be great if you could see the Clippers and let's say OKC, because then you get Kawhi Leonard against SGA, and it begs the question then, Perk, about Kawhi's health. How much trust do you have in Kawhi staying healthy through the playoffs?
I have a lot of trust in him this postseason. He played a back-to-back a few nights ago. They did an excellent job of managing and getting his body right throughout the course of this season. This is the healthiest that we have seen Kawhi Leonard in a long time. And I think he has it on his mind. He has a chip on his shoulder, right? You think about what he did to get to the Clippers and how they had to give up SGA for Paul George. And then all of a sudden, Paul George leave. And now Kawhi Leonard is saying, we got something to prove. I talked to Ty Lue and he always, I talked to Ty Lue, throughout the course of the season, and he always said how Kawhi was down at times because he was not available. And now he's starting to have that joy back and have that fire to go out and prove to the world that he's still one of the elite guys in the NBA.
I thought it was interesting hearing Perk saying he had more faith in Golden State to make a playoff run as opposed to the Lakers. If that's the case there, Bobby, does Steph Curry need to go on one of those type of runs? Remember, he scored 30 or more in like 4 of the last 6 games. Does he need one of those type of runs for Golden State to make not only a deep playoff run, but maybe win another title?
Yeah, we can't see All-Star Curry or All-NBA Curry. They're going to need MVP Curry as far as for this Golden State team to make a deep run. And I know the addition of Jimmy Butler has certainly given the boost, but this team runs through Steph Curry. And if what we've seen, certainly since the All-Star break, yes, then they have a chance to get to a conference finals. But a lot is going to be relying on what we see from the former MVP.
Does he still have that in him, Perk?
Hell yeah, he do. And the reason being is because Golden State did what they needed to do at the trade deadline and go get him a bona fide second option in Jimmy Butler. So now it frees up Steph in other areas because Jimmy Butler could do so much with the basketball offensively. He could initiate the offense. He could, you could run post-ups for him. And we know Steph is one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league, for us moving without the basketball. And so now you have 3 playmakers on the floor. You have Steph, you have Jimmy, and you have point forward, point center, and Draymond Green, who could also initiate the offense. And we know how that 2-man game looked between him and Steph.
One of the things that happened last night in the NBA, especially out west, all the things that happened, Phoenix's basically season is going to come to an end in the regular season. They won't make the play-in at all. So I guess the question is, Perk, where do you think Kevin Durant will be playing next season?
Dallas with AD and Kyrie. I wanted to see Kevin Durant in Houston, but if I'm Houston, I don't mess with their young core. They're the 2nd seed, right? It's no rush. They're going to be around for a long time. But if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I'm going all in this offseason to go get Kevin Durant. I would love to see that big 3. That big 3 will be dangerous in the league, especially in the Western Conference. And now Kevin Durant could be that 2nd, 3rd option type guy behind AD and Kyrie, which would be even more dangerous.
We heard the fire Nico chants there when Luka returned just last night. Acquiring Kevin Durant, do all of those come to an end? Perk?
Well,
go ahead, Bobby.
No, I mean, listen, if they acquired Kevin Durant, I think Nico Harrison would be closer to out the door than have his job secure. And I understand what Perk is saying here, but I go back to the Clipper model as far as what happened with Paul George here. Having three guys making $50 million or more who are injury prone and basically have gutted their roster to do so, I don't think that's the right way to go about doing as far as putting a roster together.
Perk, your
Yeah,
thoughts?
but Bobby, think about this. They gave up Luka because, from my understanding, didn't Nico said they want to win a championship now. They want to be in position to go and compete and bring a championship in the near future, not long term. So I think, go and get a Kevin Durant absolutely puts them in that position, and they have some attractive pieces. Right? You might have to give up a P.J. Washington. You might have to give up a Derek Lively. But I'm doing that if I'm able to keep a Daniel Gafford and pair Kevin Durant alongside a Kyrie Irving and a Anthony Davis. And listen, I get it. Some people have concerns because Kyrie Irving is going to be coming off an ACL injury. An ACL injury is not what it used to be 20 years ago. I was a guy that was 6'10", 285. I came back from an ACL injury in 5.5 months. Kyrie Irving will be just fine to start the next season. They definitely got to go get Kevin Durant and go all in. They didn't already went all in, BC.
If that's the case, what do you think is the best fit then for Kevin Durant next season, Bobby?
I think it's Houston. And I think what we're going to learn about this Rockets team when the playoffs start in that 2 seed, they're going to struggle when the game gets close and they need a guy to close out games and when they need a guy to make a shot from the perimeter. Realize that. And they have everything that Phoenix would want when you look at young players, draft picks, controllable contracts. I think, listen, Houston took an approach this year where they're going to evaluate their roster. I think the playoffs are going to show some weaknesses to this roster, and I think it's the Rockets.
Perk, real quick, your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, obviously KD could help them in a lot of areas, but I'm looking at this Rockets team that's penciled in as at the 2nd seed, meaning that they have home court advantage, at least till if they make it to the conference finals. And I think when you have a young group, home court advantage means everything because now you know that these young guys could feed off the energy of the crowd. And then go back and watch that 2-man game. I thought late in the season the Rockets did an excellent job of putting Jalen Green and Alfred Şengün in the action late game to let those guys figure it out on how to close games. I mean, the Rockets are just fine. I wouldn't rush it. They have a young superstar in the making at Amen Thompson. I wouldn't rush it. I would not rush it. I would stand pat and let's see where the chips fall where they made the next 3 to 4 years.
Perk, I'll give you final thoughts on this. What if KD doesn't win another title? How do you think he'll be remembered?
I mean, he will be remembered